Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 1 between ORGE Sports and neos.mrr. This is the finals for HoNTourSEA G League Cycle 3, and Game 1 is going to spell a lot of aggression because both of these teams, they have been here for a very long time, but they have not won and the tie cycle just yet. So this opportunity will only go out to one of these two teams, and who is it going to be? If ORGE Sports win this, it will definitely be attributed to the WTF factor that he's been around ever since he came back. Things have got a little bit better for ORGE Sports. And for neos.mrr, the team that has been running with the same roster since cycle 1, they just try very hard. For the first cycle, they were, I do believe they are in the second position, and for the second cycle, cycle 2, they were in the third spot. And for this next cycle, for this cycle, cycle 3, they should be wanting to get the first position. That said, this is Babael, gonna bring a little bit of solo cast because Larcms is not here, and we will have game 1 starting real soon. Hope you guys will be able to stay through this entire series. It's gonna be interesting. We are on HoNTourSEA today. I hope that you will be able to join us, and it will be an interesting series. After all, I mean, if it goes to a best of 5, it would be really nice to see that. Definitely haven't casted that for a very, very long time. That's it. I hope that this is going to be a dream come true for me. Yep, a game is actually well underway here, and I'm going to go in quickly. We are going to be looking a little bit extra stuff happening. Yep, lobby. There we go. It's going to be O&O going out for both ORGE Sports as well as neos.mrr. And Kiddo there doing a little bit of shout out to WTF, Slim Maridi, and Safari. They have changed size, it seems like. Okay, so Arch is going to be a team Legion, and ColorX is going to be a team Hellbourne. It's going to be interesting to see that. The first few band heroes are going to be the Tempest, the Scout, the Ophelia, and that is an interesting group there. Tempest being banned out means that keepers, some are still alive in this game. Orange, they do have the first pick. However, they did ban as the Tempest, maybe because they decided that they will not run the Tempest themselves. Bubble's going to be banned out as well as Scout. I do believe that this is because highly attributed to the fact that yesterday, or rather in round 15, ORGE Sports Bubbles being played by Kiddo was just completely fantastic. Not yesterday, sorry, but I do believe it was Friday. That was the last round of this round robin stages. That said, the first few picks is going to be the Fate as well as Sanriff coming in from ORGE Sports, and on Hellbourne we do have the Engineer. What's going to be the next one? Not really sure, but I do believe that it's going to be a pretty good pick. It should be the MOA because there's Engineer plus the MOA. That's going to scream a lot of aggression into the early game, but do they want to do that? No, they want to go for the Pestilence first. That's very respectable. Pestilence has been a run on MR for a very long time, and I do like that a lot. Pestilence plus Engineer means that they are going to be screaming a lot of early game aggression also. Pestilence in mid lane also means that once you got a Polity, you should be looking at quick extra burst potential. Do note that there is also the Swarm on Pestilence that will give an irritating -6 armor once it hits level 6. That's it. Luna is going to be on Team Legion, and I want to see ORGE Sports play a dual support because ever since they ran a dual support role, I have taken a liking to the fact that they revolve a little bit around the strategy, and I like it a lot because there's a lot of roaming, there's a lot of ganking, and that's the way they bring the A game into any game, you know, making sure that they scream a lot of early game aggression and making sure that stuff like that happens. That's it on Hellbourne team. It's going to be a Wretched Hag pickup. That is going to be very good because the Bad Blast means that there will be a lot of magical damage unleashed upon Team Legion, and Legion team needs to find a way to counter that. They do have the Sanriff. Sanriff is going to mean a lot of early game roaming and ganking with Mirage also, but do take note that because it's a Sanriff, he will have the ability to farm, and part in the team fight should there be any need for that once he hits level 6 with the ulti, the Mirage. And that's it. The second banning phase is actually going to be well underway here. We got the War Beast, the rally being banned out. War Beast, of course, we do see MR succeed on this lineup for a couple of times already. Mr. Go is going to ban on the Ophelia first, War Beast second. They're not going to give MR the War Beast. MR on War Beast actually steamrolled Impunity of yesterday in a best of 3 series. So in that series, Impunity of they never win a single game, I do believe. That's it. MR now is looking so good. They may actually win this one because of the fighting fever that they had with them yesterday. But I hope that will not be happening. I hope that will actually happen for them, but that will not be happening for Team ORGE Sports. So they are in a different perspective completely, and I hope that it's going to be good. That's it. Game now still well underway here. The draft still going to be looking so good, but the band here is not so much. We are looking at the Revenor banned by ColorX. How is that going to be? That's my question though. The Revenor should be a hero that would be able to deal a lot of magical damage, but we should have some problem, I think, there. But Revenor should be okay. Considering the fact that it's been banned away, that means that Team Legion will not be able to run that. I do believe that if it's gonna be on Team Legion, it will be played by Kiddo in the middle lane. And if that will happen, it will mean a lot of early game regression, plus the fact that Stormblades hit for shit ton of damage. I've said this for many times already. It does hit for a lot of damage. So those are some of the things that we might want to pay close attention to. It's going to be a Kraken pickup. Kraken is going to be really good. If it's going to be mid lane, it could be played by Kiddo, but I don't think that should be the case for today. It could also be on Cipher, that's and Killer, by the way. And if he plays Kraken in the long lane, it would have quite a high amount of success because of the splash damage. It's going to mean that he's going to have pretty easy farm. Tsunami Charge is going to make sure that he has got some form of escape mechanism. Torrent will be able to make sure that ganks are somewhat successful because Torrent does slow your enemies for a set amount of percentage there. And on Hellborn, things are looking pretty quiet right now. They are still waiting to make sure who is going to be the carry. That's my question, because Heck can be playing as a carry. It could also be in the Swiss side. Now, if Heck goes to the Swiss side, it would be as in the long lane. That would be pretty ideal, but they need someone to carry this game. And Engineer is going to be picked up right now. I'm surprised he didn't get banned away. The ban here is from ORGE spots were actually the Warbeast, Keeper of Forest, and Parasite. So banning the Parasite, wow, I do believe they might be wanting to run someone jungle, but nope. No one on jungle there just yet. Parasite, banned from Parasite. Don't really agree with that. I thought that they might actually do a lot better banning away something like the Engineer, something that you know that Team MR would pick up because they already have the MOA. There's also the Pebbles. Pebbles being banned by Team MR, so that will not be a Pebbles. So if we did see a Pebbles, it would be on Kiddo, and Cipher there is going to be playing as a Kraken, but no signs of that just yet. That's it. That's all my own perception. Of course, things might be a little bit different because teams these days, they just like to rotate the roles, they like to rotate the lane, they make sure there's a little bit of unadded, a little bit of the element of surprise. And that is going to be very good in this kind of a game because you don't want to be read completely by a team. But it's going to be a Pandemonium, wow. And Panda there is going to be played by Endkiller. Now, if that is going to be the case, Endkiller there should be in the long lane, and Kraken would be played by Kiddo in the mid lane, wow. Never really seen Kraken on Kiddo before, but ever since it appeared again in the international scene, I would say that Kraken has been a very strong hero. Being played by Keizo, of course. So currently with the lineup coming from Orange Spots, I would be expecting them to want to drag this game a little bit later. Shui gonna reprise the role of the Fate. That is something that Shui has been doing very well ever since the entire cycle 2 began. He has been rotating to the secondary support role, doing a lot of work there, not playing as a jungle. That's Shui. It seems like Orange Spot has got considerable amount of failures whenever they play the jungle role. Against Impunity Earth, they didn't play that, but they won both series. And once they played the jungle role against MR, they did lose a game there. I do believe. That's it. It's gonna be a Moon Queen coming off of DQ. That's gonna be big because MR, they are one of the pioneers. Maybe not a pioneer, but they are one of those that play Moon Queen very frequently in the Southeast Asian region, and that is something that we all love to see. The Moon Queen pick. That's it. I hope that this game is going to be really exciting for all of us to watch here. And game 1 well on the way, and it would be not long before the HoN is going to sound. And yep, as they will always say, let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
So that's it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is going to be pretty scary to see, and I will want to see this in a complete perspective. Oh, sorry, overlay a little bit of a problem. Yep, there we go. It's going to be between MR as well as Orange Esports. So that means that MR is going to have a pretty tough fight. Orange Esports being the chart leader for 2 entire cycles. Already cycle 1, it was to the Masters, but Orange did suffer a little bit of 3-point penalty. Not going to talk about that one there, but I do believe that Orange has been a very much top spot contender, a top contender for the top spot. And I hope that that is going to be well. So Pulse is going to be well on the way here, and I am going to be using this opportunity to introduce these players as well as teams. On Team Legend is going to be Orange Spots from Malaysia. They've been doing so well since the entire start of this HoNTourSEA, and I would love to see them win at least one cycle. So Mr. Ghost Top Troll, that's Mr. Ghost, also known as Top Troller in recent days. He is the drafter for Orange Spots. That's going to be the Luna. Kiddo going to be reprising the role of the Kraken. Never seen this before, but I do believe that Kraken is going to be a hero that Kiddo would like to play. I mean, I would love to see him play a different hero from time to time. Sandrift being picked up by WTF. I like him playing as the Draconis a lot more, but still Sandrift is one of those heroes that is very well known in this scene because of the ability to just gank as well as to pot in whenever there's a need for a team fight. So WTF should be able to have pretty good farm as well as gank in this game. That said, Cipher is going to be the end killer. It's the same guy. He is going to be the Pandemonium, sorry. And that means that he will be looking for a lot of extra gank potential. Pander does a lot of physical damage. That's the thing coming from Orange Esports today. There's a lot of physical damage dealer, not so much on a magical perspective. That is why the Team Hellboy will not really need to buy a Shrunken Head. However, Shrunken Head is still going to be really good because it does block out a considerable amount of stun coming out from the Luna as well as the Fade. That's it. The last guy on Team Orange Esports has been the longest guy with them. That's going to be Shrey. And Shrey is going to be the captain. He is also the secondary support this game playing as the Fade. Help on team will be neos.mrr, all the way from the land of the rising sun. I'm sorry again, land of smiles there. Always confuse those two. Yep, it's land of rising sun being Japan, land of smiles being Thailand. So yep, Colorax is going to be the drafter for this game, and he's going to be your MOA. We do have Bomb Rusher Paul, that's going to be engineer. Secondary is going to be Chitwanex, that's going to be your secondary priority farm, also known as the mid lane, that's the Pestilence. DQ going to be reprising the role of the Moon Queen. Last but not least will be 07TV1, that's going to be the Wretched Hack. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 is going to be well on the way here, and I do believe that this would be a hotly contested series. I would expect a clean series nonetheless, because I hope that Team Legion might be able to win this series today, simply because they have been working so hard. Also, MR, yeah, I'm not gonna discredit them. They did rise to the occasion. They were in the 4th spot, but right now they're just standing so good, looking to be either the 2nd or the 1st. They did also knock out SY, mind you. That's it. However, Orange Esports, well, they are ultimately from Malaysia, and I would love to see someone from another country win a cycle at least. Telemasters, who are the Cycle 1 champions, are already from Thailand, and Cycle 2 champions are also from Thailand. That would be S2Y. S2Y also after that went ahead to win the DreamHack qualifiers. That is why they are now going to represent the entire Southeast Asian region and the big game against the international community for DreamHack Winter 2013. That's it. The pause is still well on the way here, and I'm waiting for Colorac to reconnect, and hopefully it's gonna be okay. But still talking now, this is where I would love to ask Lark always, which team will have the late game perspective and which team will have to play against time here. So comparatively, it would seem like Moon Queen will have a pretty good farm. If that is going to the Moon Queen's way, it would be well against the Sand Wraith, and both of them, let's say that they are at a tie. Yeah, I would say the Team Hellbourne will have a better opportunity because of the fact that they have got a hack, and the hack is just so good in the late game. Can be a secondary carry plus Moon Queen. That's going to mean a lot of damage. There's also a lot of push potential coming from the Moon Queen because of the Moon Glaive, the multi-strike. One of the main reasons why Moon Queen is just so overpowered. Also on Team Legion, we have Kraken and pretty much a lot of early game aggression if they like to play that way. I mean, Seraph can be very much mobile, like I covered before. Pandemonium also with a very good, it's called the Cannonball stun. That's very good also. That's it. We have Burning Shadow. That's going to be a good stun on the Fate. Same goes for Luna. Luna will have the Emerald Lightning. Those are pretty good stunts in the early game. That's it. Laning, yes, laning. I would believe that the Sandrift is going to go down south. That would be by WTF. We might see a dual lane by both the Panda as well as the Fate, and we could see a Luna and Kraken in the middle lane. That would be the conventional way of laning. Unconventional would be letting Kraken solo mid and taking a little bit of a tri lane up north. I hope that is going to be effective though. Whereas on the flip side, on the Hellbourne team, laning should be Hack and the Suicide. Moon Queen going to go up north. Moon Queen should be joined by the MOA. We could also see the Engineer and Pest in the mid lane. It could be vice versa. I mean, the dual supports could be switching around a little bit more, but Bomb Rusher Paul has been playing as the hard support so far, and he has got considerable amount of success. So I want to see that being played. That's it, Colorax. Welcome back to this game, and the game should be resuming really soon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning now, you're just nicely chancing yourself upon a game between Orange Esports as well as Neolution MRR. I'm expecting it to be a complete clean series, and I hope that you guys will be able to put forth your opinions on the Twitch chat as well as to which teams will win this and what score you think is going to be the final score. Of course, we will not be able to give you any stuff, but I hope you guys will be able to just let us know what kind of a score you think it is. That's gonna maybe spark a little bit of interest into the Twitch chat. That's a game well resuming right now, and both teams are going to be headed for the Hellborn jungle. There is, in my opinion, there's no real need to ward it up because there's no one that is reprising the jungle role from MRR. But again, Orange Esports just going to scream a lot of aggression into this game here, so they want to make it work. So yep, there we go. They are going to be walking in right now. And we'll be spotting out the entire Hellborn team. Is there going to be engagement? There goes a little bit too slow. It's going to be aimed directly at the MOA. MOA is going to take a little bit of an awkward turn there, but he's going to be fine. And there will not be any gang so far. I would say that the Panda walked a little bit too slow. Do note that he only has got 295 movement speed. That's compared to the flat out 300. That is the basic walking speed rate. So Panda being a little bit slow. Must be the extra fats. That's it. Game is going to be starting real soon in the next 14 seconds. And we do have Hack down here. He's going to ward out the pull cam. So that makes sure that Team Legion will not be able to pull the cam and will not be able to stack it as well. And that means that Hack will have a better time down south. Meanwhile, top lane we do have the Colorex. That is also the MOA. And he's doing a lot of work here. Might be able to land a lane ward. And there we go. The ward of sight is going to be placed there. So that's going to make sure that there will not be too much gang coming in their way. And Moon Queen would be more or less protected walking into the early stages of this game. Surprisingly, it is going to be a tri-lane up north here. Kraken's going to have to solo mid. And that is completely unconventional. I don't like it for a wide variety of reasons. And reason number one is because Kraken will have a hard time against Pestilence. May not actually have a hard time, but will have a hard time if Pestilence is joined by Engineer. But Engineer now spotting the fact that it's going to be a tri-lane, he's going to try and rotate up north here. Do note that the pull cam has also been blocked by Orange Esports, so Hellborn will not have the luxury to do that. And yep, it's going to be a tri-lane completely coming up from both sides. It's going to be at the top lane, and that will be exciting to watch. That's it. Down top is going to be the Sandrift against the Hack. I'm not expecting Hack to win this lane because Sandrift does have a lot of extra fun potential, but hold that top because top lane a little bit engagement happening there. Then Moon Queen might actually be going down here. One extra hit from the Panda, but the stun from the CAC is just so clutch, and that's why the trailing is just so effective. Maybe even, but where's the Luna? Luna should be looking for a quick stab there. Luna waiting for a shot, and now goes the snipe. It's gonna be a bloodlust calling out there. Moon Queen goes down. Panda is gonna go down, but wow, the cannonball is just so big there. Meanwhile, MOA takes the fall, and it's big plays coming out from Cipher, doing a really good job there. The cannonball, I thought he was actually gonna die there, but the health potion right now is gonna regenerate him really quickly. That's it. It could have gone both ways, but it was big play again by Team Orange Esports doing a lot of work there. They do manage to make it into a 2-0 series, and Kraken just going to splash nicely onto the Pestilence, and that means that Pesty is not going to have the best of game this game. Yep, he is already down in terms of level. That is why we all love Kraken in mid lane. You know, he does a lot of extra pressure here with the splash. Let me just check the damage to let you know. He does have 2 points in the splash because he knows that the Torrent is not going to be exceptionally effective against the Pestilence. That's going to deal additional 45 physical damage to enemies in 325 radius, and an additional 45 to enemies in 200 radius. So if you're closer, the closer you are, the more damage it's going to be. But meanwhile, top lane live engagement happening here. Fate is actually going to be more than fine, so don't worry too much about that. Meanwhile, Illusion pick up on Luna. Luna should be looking to walk up north a little bit to join up with the rest of his teammate for a possible gang. That's it. Down south, Sandrift have taken a little bit of harassment from the Hack. And Hack with the HoN, man. Hack doing a lot of work also. He's gonna opt for the HoN build. That's gonna be fine. Sona Scream may not actually be needed so early in this game because he will not be expecting too much of a gang coming out. Neither does he want a gang. He will be interested to win his lane against the Kraken. That should be his main objective. Impale going out from Pestilence onto the Kraken, but not much for damage as usual because Kraken being a strength hero, he's just inherently very tankish. That's it. Gonna talk a little bit about the CS right now. Kraken standing about 14:2 against Pestilence 15:2, so both ways the lane should be pretty fine. I mean, except for the splash damage on that constantly harassing that on the Pestilence. Pestilence does have pretty good regen. I do believe that he has got the bottle already, so he should be just fine. He does also have a stack regen earlier on this game, so that's gonna help him in his laning against the Kraken. That's it. Down south is gonna be 9-0 from the center against that of Hack's 14-6. So somehow Hack is winning this lane. And I'm expecting Sandrift to have a little bit of backup soon. So because they won the lane, I'm expecting the duo supports to roam down south in short wall. And if that really does happen, Team MRR's Hack should be having a tougher game than expected. That's it. Bomber Support actually gonna go ahead and walk down south there. He doesn't have the rate boost. That's the main reason why he's just trotting along, or strolling along really very well. Top lane, Moon Queen's farm is actually only at about 1-0, and well, we've seen us really succeed on, I do believe, Nox's Moon Queen, but that is a different story for a different day. This game is going to be ORGE spots against that of Illusion MR, and I'm hoping that they will be able to just shut down this Moon Queen as well. But Moon Queen standing already at level 2. The trial lane so far pretty successful. For trialing to succeed, a wide variety of requirements must be met. First of all, they must kill at least the opponent once or twice, and they did that already. Second of all, they must completely meet the level of the solo lane, or maybe even that of the dual lane. That said, but Panda is already level 4, and Moon Queen only level 3 right now, so I would take it that they've already won that lane. That's it, the gang may be well in the way now, but meanwhile, mid lane is going to be harassed by the Pestilence. Kraken dealing the usual splash damage, that's nice to see. Meanwhile, the pool cam is completely unlocked here, but it seems like Bomber Paul and Color X, both of them, the dual guns from Wild West, will be able to enjoy this pool of creeps here with the lane creeps as well. 5 minutes gonna be up real soon in this game, and we are looking for a real good time here. MRR slightly behind in terms of kill count as well as goal. They are only 1k behind, so that's gonna be pretty easy to catch up if they want to do so. There would be a little bit of a tri-lane gang down south here. In fact, I was expecting Orange Spot to have a little bit of backup, but no. Hellbound team's gonna have that harassment from WTF onto the Wretched Hack. But he is going to be more than fine playing very passively because they know that there's no one else in the top lane, so his teammates telling him really to be careful. Mid lane is still going to be the Kraken with the Pestilence, and Kraken playing in really gutsy so far. GPM wise, we're looking at Panda at about 365 and Pestilence at about 320 only. So Pestilence a little bit behind so far, but should be able to catch up if the kill on Kraken is going to be materialized. Kraken only about 300 GPM. Panda 360 like I mentioned before. WTF playing as a Seraph, having a little bit of a hard game so far, only 150 plus. But nowadays it's more about the mid lane as compared to the side lanes, because the side lane should be looking at good farm. However, it is not a recipe for success. You definitely need that mid lane to win so that the ganks would be possible, and once the gang starts coming, the goal will start rolling. Top lane Panda having a really good game so far. Level 5 already, looking for a quick level 6. I do believe that he should be at that really soon. And that's it. It seems like the mid lane, a little bit of a gang happening there. Kraken actually going to go in with a great Kraken ultimate. And it's going to be also Tsunami Charge. But a bad blast though. It's going to hit on the Fate as well as the Luna and on Kraken. That's going to be all 3 members there. And Luna might be in a lot of trouble there. The party by Hack is actually going to change things a lot right now. And it seems like the Kraken might actually be going down. Yes, he will, but here comes the Panda. A big cannonball. Maybe a flick, and yep, that's going to be an easy kill onto the MOE. And Seraph looking to think whether he's going to come in, but he's not. And that's going to mark the end of the engagement. 6 minutes, it's going to be 4-3. Origins will still got a slight lead so far. They may actually lose the lead if Panda didn't come in time. So Panda playing as a saver for this game. And Killen doing a lot of work there. 7 minutes, gonna be up real soon, 4-3 so far, and Legion team having a really good time so far. I would say that the Sanriff would need a lot more farm, but they are still pretty much far behind. Sanriff at only about 200 GPM, 17 creep kill already, but he needs a lot more. Hag having no Blood Blast, but still have got the HoN. Will be dishing a lot of harassment onto the Sanriff. Sanriff doesn't know whether to back off or not, but he's gonna be hiding in those woods. That's it. Well, so far the game should still be dead even, and I'm thinking that this may actually last well into the late game stages because of a wide variety of reasons. First is because both the carries didn't have a good farm, so both teams might be wanting to drag this a little bit longer. Second, if you look at the mid lane, you have the Pesty against the Kraken. Kraken definitely a lot more useful than the Pestilence in terms of ultimate. However, Pestilence has got a spammable ultimate, so again, it's going to be pretty much tight there. And if you look at the mid lane, I would say someone is split down middle, so we won't be able to identify a clear winner just yet. But 4-3 so far, 8 minutes in, and Orange Spot's having a slight lead. So at least someone's having a bit of a lead. That's always good to have. That's it. The top lane is going to be challenged though, and no one's still going to push this on this. It is standing at about 300 plus health points, but that's okay. No push means that it's still going to be okay. Meanwhile, down south, Seraph actually going to get checked out here by the engineer, and Tar's going to be used, and could be a kill though, and yep, the overshot shot is going to make that the kill on the center is going to be completed. Meanwhile, the middle lane though, we do have the Pestilence up against the Kraken, and it seems like Orange is trying to put forward a little bit of a gang against the Moon Queen. Moon Queen in a little bit of a precarious situation, but ultimately should be just fine. that said, I'm not expecting this game to end too early, like I mentioned before. And it's going to be highly dependent on a few factors. Well, Pandar is going to be the HoNTourSEA has completed the Ghost Marchers. He should be looking to complete some other items quickly. I would be expecting him to complete maybe the Portal Key. I'm not going to pick that just yet. Moon Queen meanwhile is going to have a lot of harassment onto the Fate. And Fate's going to have to back up completely. But not before Luna snatched up the stacked level 2 cam there. That's it. Surprisingly, it's going to be a really slow game. 9 minutes, 4 to 4. I thought that it would be at least a considerable amount of early game pressure, but nope, not happening. We are looking at Fate. Fate, I mean, it's going to be possible on both teams because there's dual support. But actually, Fate's going to spot out the Moon Queen here. The call's going to be used, and here comes the center. If that's going to box out the Moon Queen, Moon Queen going to be a lot of trouble, and maybe the kill is going to be possible. Fate's going to be able to nicely pick it out, or rather, WTF is going to pick it out quickly. And Pasty might be looking at a kill on the Fate. No, it's going to be the Hex, Sonic Scream, so that's going to be good to see. WTF going to take flight in a separate direction, just to make sure that the aggression is going to be spread out. That said, though, Kraken did expel the LT in the previous fight, so a little bit regrettable because it did only translate to one kill. And they are now tied in terms of kill there, so that's sad to see for Orange Spots. Meanwhile, a little bit of the Panda action happening there in the backup lines in the upstream. However, Pestilence going to go in quickly, and that's going to mean an easy kill on Ankle. Ankle going to take the fall there. He nearly killed the Hag with the face smash, but was forced to let it go. Spreading Shadow on the Pestilence. Pestilence is going to have to fight a version of himself in a dark complete society, or maybe a dark room there. It's a little bit better to see that. I mean, it's always scary to fight yourself, much less a Burning Shadow copy, if you get what I mean. That's a 10 minutes going to be up here. 5 is the 6, and Hellbound doing a really good job so far and staying alive. They do have the kill lead, but they don't have the goal lead, and that's solely because Sandwraith is just such a mobile hero in this game. WTF standing at 2-1-0, standing at only 200 GPM. I do believe that he's going to be looking for more farm. The biggest problem that will be standing his way will be the offlane hack that is being played by 07TV1, doing a really good job so far. He is already standing at 2-0-3 with 360 plus GPM. So far, I would say the MR is in a pretty good spot to win this game. However, Orange Spots definitely have got what it takes to come back here. All they need is successful ganks and basic item on the Kraken as well as the partner to be completed. The Panda Man now opting for the Portal Key straight up. He should be saving up gold for that. Meanwhile, they're gonna nicely address this triple stacked Ancients with a lot of Predasaurs. Should be okay. No form of contest coming from Team Legion. Legion just playing this really passively. And considering that this is a finals, they want to play really safe. I would understand the rationale for that. However, I don't like slow games. Not in a solo cast. Because a slow game means that it's gonna be more for a little bit more insights. Which I apparently need Lark for. But Lark is not here, so we're gonna have to bear with that. 12 minutes up here, and it seems like it's gonna be a 5 is a 6 again. Nothing much happening. Fate already popping the reflection. He's still waiting for an opportunity to go into gank to top lane. Moon Queen needs to be addressed somehow because Moon Queen have sizable amount of farm, 150 plus, and I mean it's okay, but the more you kill the Moon Queen, the better it is going to be for a team. It's going to mean that the earlier you stop a Moon Queen, it means that the game is going to be dragged a lot longer on the Hellbound side, and they want to have that because if Hellbound is the one intentionally dragging this game, Sarah's going to have a lot more space to farm. Hellbound being the one more teamfight adversive. Sandwraith now already at level 8. He does have the level but doesn't have the goal. He's only about 230 plus. He should be looking at a Mock of Brilliance for the first item, but he does have only 600 gold in the bank. And might be able to get a quick items though, but I'm just hoping that it would be soon. So that's where you can milk the Sandwraith. The fastest Sandwraith I saw with a Mock of Brilliance I do believe was at the 9-minute mark. Technically speaking, it's very hard to achieve, but this guy, he should get it at about the 15-16 minute mark. If he dies again, I would expect it to be about the 20 minute mark, but that's if he dies. Dewarding action happening from MRR side. Ward of Wrath being placed there, and I mean, Fate's just wasting his time trying to gang the Moon Queen at the top lane. Moon Queen already level 6 would have the Moon Finale. That's gonna translate to an easy kill on anyone that's too close to the Moon Queen. So he needs to be really careful when it comes to that. That's it. Kraken's been really protective so far. And unfortunately enough, it's only level 1 reflection, so Fate's gonna lose the effect of that. Moon Queen knows something is wrong, and he's gonna take an even further approach to this position there. Meanwhile, middle lane, Livid Gang happening on the Kraken. Kraken a lot of trouble. Kraken looking good on. Kraken's ultimate is gonna be used there, but it is not warranted. In fact, I do believe it's a waste of ultimate. Should not have been used, because even if it's used, it would not have saved him. That's it, top lane. Might be looking at a gang there, but the the Panda has already decided to pot down south, and that would be pretty scary. If the Fate goes head-to-head against the Moon Queen, I would expect Moon Finale to finish off the Fate. That's it. However, Fate has got 30 seconds to just stay there and wait for his ultimate. So yes, 40 minutes game still going on here, and 5-7. Game very slow. Not my favorite game, but it seems like top lane the gang is gonna happen. So the Moon Queen a lot of trouble. That Burning Shadow is gonna be used, and that's gonna mean an easy kill there. Pot's gonna come in quickly, but it may not be quick enough. Pot and Pestilence already completed. That's the sign of that, and it seems like the Impale is gonna go down quickly. Face smash happening on the Hack's definitely going down. The Flick is gonna make sure that the little bit of the extra, not Flick, it's called the Flurry. It's gonna make sure that the kill is gonna be possible. Clark's also gonna take the fall because of the Cannonball, so that is gonna be good to see. That's the MOA, and Pandemonium is gonna pick up that one there. 15 minutes, just past the concede mark here, but both teams are still looking so good that they actually will have their own chance to win this game one. And like I mentioned before, game one is just so important, because if you lose the first game, you're gonna be in a very bad standing, very bad morale happening all across the team. You're gonna start doubting yourself again. Apparently that kind of concept does work, but it may not be as effective on MRR, because MRR did lose the first game against S2Y yesterday, but they came back very strong after that. So in fact, making their best of 3 series into a 2-1 and winning it. So that's why I would say the MRR is so strong, but today they are looking a little bit hesitant up against Orange Esports, a team that they know are somewhat very well known for aggressive gameplay. 60 minutes gonna be up real soon. 1.8k goal lead for Team Legion. Still very far behind, and let's just check in on the center. Center having the Energizer completed. He will not opt for the Macro Brilliant straight up, so that's a little bit sad to see. He will only be able to get his offensive item by the 30 minutes mark by now, by the way things are looking. That's it. However, Pandemonium already completed the Energizer as well. That's double Energizer. Not really sure why they need that for a big team. However, it will make sure that at least that would mean that they will have a good movement and sizable damage. The Flick is going to be effective though, but it is not going to be in full effect because of that. The Flurry is going to come out, and that's going to mean that a little bit of extra disarm. And Hack is going to go down as well. So here comes the Podney a little bit too late MOA, making sure that a little bit of damage is going to happen on Team Legion with the Fog Lightning. But he is not able to do much of thing against this entire tri-lane here. That's it. However, mid lane, a little bit of gang should be well on the way. The Reflection being used on the Fate. Might be looking for extra gang potential. Pasty gonna be a lot of trouble if the Fate comes out. Yeah, Fate's gonna come out there with the Burning Shadow. I would have preferred it if he came out with the Reflection straight up. But nope, Burning Shadow is gonna ensure the kill. So yeah, that means that Pasty is gonna go down. Even the Kraken ultimate is gonna be warranted for that kill there. Because Impale on the Pestilence is just always a click away. And that is why it's always good to kill the Pestilence before he put forth any form of a stun. If not, he could always run away with Quick Flight. That's it. Tier 1 and mid lane and top lane already addressed by Team Orange Esports. Whereas for Hellborn team, the tier 1s are still not addressed, and Legion are still having every single one of their towers still standing. That's pretty scary, because if this game goes on this way, it would seem like MR is voluntarily not pushing. And if they don't push, they're going to lose a lot of goal lead, and goal in terms of goal unlocked by the tower for the entire team. That's going to mean a lot, because it will help the entire team propel the position. Everyone can need the extra goal for maybe even small little items that they are just a few extra shiny gold coins shy of. That's it though. 18 minutes up into this game. 10-8 so far. Almost a 5k goal lead. Orange Esports in a good standing. WTF already escalated his GPM to about 280 plus. So he is playing catch up, and he would be able to get it if he gets a kill. A few more kills at least. That's gonna help him a lot. That's it. Pandemonium should be looking at his next item, and it seems like both of these players here, both Cipher as well as WTF, should be opting for the Shrunken Head. They do have the Mighty Blade picked up already, and if they have the Shrunken Head, that's to fight a Bad Blast as well as anything. That's going to provide them complete unparalleled access throughout the gates of the Electric Fence. So that's something that they will want to have, as well as the immunity against the Bad Blast. That's again another big magical burst coming from the Hellborn team. So if they have the Shrunken Head, that's going to make sure that they will be able to survive more in team fights. and that's why you want to have that item completed as soon as you can. So Wise of WTF did not pick up the Mock of Brilliance first, and it would be good to see him complete a Shrunken Head before the next push. However, I don't see it being remotely possible, simply because the next team fight would be issued by MR. It should be, I don't know, but they should be in a good spot to further their push potential, but they are not doing that, and that's pretty questionable, in my honest opinion. That's the 90 minutes up already, still 10-8 here. Fair game, split down the middle. It could be anyone's game, and I'm hoping that they give us that kind of a depth to this game. Back to item choices, it seems like Pestilence already has the Polo key. That's gonna mean a lot of further engagement happening from Pestilence, and Moon Queen, however, doesn't have much of an item still, and that's because she's completely regulated. She does, however, have the 2k gold in the bank, and that's very nice to see. And GPM wise, Moon Queen is only about 230 plus. Even the Kraken has got about 370, and that's from the middle lane. Pesty about 290, Panda about 400, so is the Hack at about 370 plus. So, man, I would say that this game so far is pretty much dead even, and it may actually be a pretty much 10-step game, but so far both teams playing it really safe and making sure that they have enough bomb before the next team fight. It's gonna be wise because Hellborn is gonna be looking for extra magical damage, or maybe extra damage in terms of damaging items. Whereas for Legion, they are looking for extra Shrunken Head, and if that happens for them, that's gonna mean a lot. That's it. However, it's not that big of a deal. Panda already very close to Shrunken Head. He should be looking at just additional $700 before he gets it. And for Sandrave very far behind, but here comes the Invisible Fate, and Fate is gonna look for a kill on the Moon Queen. The Burning Shadow is gonna miss, and the Moon Finale is gonna be popped up here, but only level 1 Moon Finale may not be most effective for Lola. Panda may be able to pick up the fall there, and he's gonna go down. They're a little bit of a blind. Impel is gonna miss onto the Fate. Now Fate looking to run away, but Fate will not get it done, and he will go down. That's it. That's gonna propel this current standing to 10-10, and a perfect 10 upon 10 kind of a game so far. In the early stages, 20 minutes in, and pretty much still split down the middle here. MR could be looking could be in a pretty good spot to win this one. So for all of you Orange fans who are supporting Team Orange Spot right now, you may actually start to worry a little bit or not, but in general it looks like Team Hellborn have a recipe for success here. Moon Queen has already caught up in terms of farm, 270 plus, 2.4k gold in the bank, whereas Sandrave has got nothing just yet, only 1.7 thereabouts, and we possibly need a lot more gold for the chunk of that. That's it. The tier 1 is going to get contested at the top lane, however Pot's going to come in and it's probably going to be safe. I would not be expecting a deny, because the catapult just hit so slow. Oh, yep, it's actually going to be within deniable range, and now they're going to deny the catapult first. Get a kill, get a goal, and will deny the tower. So a little bit unfortunate that the catapult's presence did not materialize into a good gank, or rather good push. Sandrave just doing the Sandrave thing in the jungle right now. He does have over 300 plus gold in the bank, so I would assume that naturally he would have purchased something, but something is not here yet, so I'm not able to tell it. I don't believe I'm able to see a career. No, it's not a career either, so Sandrave just making sure that he gets as much gold as he can. 22 minutes up here, 10-10, Orange Spots game 1, waiting to make something happen. Same goes for MR. And I have to stress again that this series is just very important, because the winner of this entire series, best of 5, will get 4k gold. Second in place will only get 2.5k, not gold, sorry, but 4k points. And 2.5k will go to the second spot there. So I'm hoping that this game is going to be exciting. But so far, passive gaming at its very best. Both teams just farming over and over again. And, yep, not much happening still. Now that Hex has completed the Grimoire Power, I expect Hex to opt for a little bit more protective an item. Maybe going, but she doesn't even need a Shrunken Head, because on Team Legion there's not much of a magical burst. She might want to go for the Null Stone. That will be pretty effective against a set amount of heroes from Team Legion, especially if Fate does have a Codex. However, I don't believe that Fate will go Codex, because he's playing as the secondary support, and there's a lot of better items to pick up other than the Codex. So the Blue Master Scout's gonna have on Pestilence, and that's gonna be an easy kill on WTF. WTF is gonna be a lot of trouble, as Sandrave would not be able to run off this one, and he goes down, and here comes the Panda a little bit too late. Might actually want to pick up a kill on the Engineer, but down goes the energy field, and that's gonna help him a lot. And here comes the Ray Power Throw. Panda does take up the fall, however Kato is going to be able to pick up the kill there with the Kraken ultimate, so that's going to be a little bit heartwarming, at least coming from RNG Spots. The potting again, plus the stun. Mr. Ghost going to be a lot of trouble there. The stun's going to be going down, and that's going to mean an extra kill. So right now MR is going to have a little bit of extra lead here. But Hag is just completely overextending, and down goes the Kraken extra stun potential from Tsunami Charge. Very well played there. And Fate also with the Burning Shadow, make sure, or rather not Burning Shadow, but a call. That's gonna make sure that Hag will go down. And that will make it to the 3-to-1 kind of exchange so far. 3-to-2, sorry, in general. And yep, that means that Team Legion is still well into this game here. 500 goal lead may not be the biggest. In fact, 500 goal lead is not a real goal lead. And it seems like Kraken is able to snatch away the rune there. So that's good for Kraken. A little bit sad for Pestilence. 24 minutes up already. 12-to-13. Both teams could still win this. Waiting for items to be built up on both sides. Seems like WTF still needs more items, and he should be forming the top lane right now because there's a lot of increased aggression screaming at RNG spots down south. Therefore, he's going to want to push the top lane. And that's that. So on the flip side, Moon Queen already completed a Shrunk Cadet. Now, again, like I mentioned before, there's not a lot of magical damage on Team Legion. If you think about it, only the Pandemonium has got a physical spell. So that's the main reason why this Shrunk Cadet is not going to work against them. However, it should work against the Kraken. I do believe that the Whirlpool does affect also physical heroes. So that's the main reason why it's going to be pretty useful in the current scenario. It will also work against the Fate as well as the Luna stunts. So Moon Queen looking for extra. I mean, so far the stunts are the main reason why Moon Queen gets picked up there. But the Shrunken Knight now completed on the Panda as well as Sandwave. They should be looking at pushing this lane right about now. So Orange Esports, man, ever since WTF joined them, he has taken reprised his role in the carry perspective. They help Orange Esports handle that particular role. He's doing a really good job so far, but may not be as high as his DreamHack performance of 700 GPM on the Draconis. But so far, maybe 300 plus GPM is going to be pretty good. And do note that this is actually a Sandwave, so things are pretty much different in this kind of perspective. That's it. However, MRR is positioning themselves up for a good push, pretty good push up the top lane. WTF gonna have to be really careful there. He might actually wanted to go for the Ancient, but he knows that something's up and he wants to reprise the mid lane instead. That'll be good. And that's it, 26 minutes gonna be up real soon. Kraken taking a little bit of tower damage. He's definitely gonna be able to take this out. There's no point in this. The tower is gonna go down there. That's the tier 1. And the Hellborn team is now completely strict Baron of the entire tier 1s. Legion still has got a tier 1 in mid lane, so that's nice to see. Fate might actually want to push forward a little bit of gang onto the Moonkin. It's just screaming now, guys, let's gang this Moonkin. And he's gonna go in. The call's gonna come out there. And Kraken's gonna use the ultimate as well, so that's gonna be good enough. Meanwhile, on the flip side, it seems like a little bit of gang happening here. And the Mirage being used by WTF, but it doesn't get anything done. Meanwhile, Fate is also gonna go down, and it seems like Engineer is gonna be trying to run away, but he is also gonna go down. WTF making sure that the kill is gonna be possible. And Pestilence there is gonna have to jet out there. And yep, Shrunken doing a lot of work there. As you can see, the energy field completely not affecting both the Sandwave as well as the Pandemonium. So that's the main reason why it's being picked up there. The Bat Blast was being used, but of course not being to the full effect because of the Shrunken as well. So I would say that Team Legion, because of the absence of Magical Burst, it's not warranted a Shrunken item on Team Hellborn. However, Hellborn have got a Bat Blast as well as energy field, therefore it's needed on Team Legion. But now it seems like Sandwave should be looking for extra materials to help in his damage department. He definitely needs more items and should be looking at a quick, I don't know, Firebrand maybe into a Geomedes Vein. That would be a pretty good item for Sandwave. He might also want to go for the Mark of the Brilliance because that would be able to help cancel out the portal key on this Pestilence. But so far in, 15-15, man, guys. 4k goal lead for Team Legion. Doing a really good job so far. They actually lost the lead for a short while in terms of kills, but they still managed to got it back because of the Shrunken Head. And finally, Pandemonium having completed that portal key. That's going to make sure that he's going to have extra ganking potential, going in for a quick cannonball as well. And that's pretty good. That's it. We are looking for a kill potential there. Oh wow, it's gonna actually miss that Burning Shadow. Quick pot away by the Pestilence. I do believe that that was against the presence of the mind at its very best. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break here because this game is just so slow. So that's it. 29 minutes gonna be up real soon. 15 to 15, 3.4k goal lead for Team Legion. They definitely don't have as much as a big lead as much as possible so far. But yep, I mean they had better lead earlier, but it seems like they are not able to do much of a thing here. So passive gaming again. Wow, this is gonna kill me. Yeah. Energizer completed on both the Panda as well as the Sandreef. And Firebrand, like I mentioned, so he's gonna skip out directly for the Mako Brilliance. He's gonna go for the Jominus Bane, and that's gonna be good. Rashidai doing a lot of work right now. Farming, and here comes the Fate. I do believe that they don't have a Water of Wrath, but a Water of Sight might be able to spot that one out there. No, actually, no, the Fate is gonna go in quickly, and here comes the Center. So Fate plus Center is gonna mean a quick yank. And yes, they are able to spot the hack, and maybe just one last hit, and the hack's gonna be fine. However, a little bit of overextension here. Moon Queen's gonna pot in here. Meanwhile, middle lane, it seems like the kill on the Pestilence is gonna be affected though. So 7 is to 15, and MR having a little bit of a bad spot right now. They are now 5k behind. And 30 minutes in, the game is still well on the way. And Legion team having a slight advantage, therefore. That's it. Legion team might actually want to push right now. Yep, they do. And mid lane is going to be challenged by Team Legion. Kraken doing a lot of work there. He is actually going to be nicely increased there. Also, we do see that the defense tower might be challenged, but here comes the extra fun. And the torrent is going to go down onto Engineer. Engineer is going to get flicked. And Engineer, Bomb Rusher, Paul, lot trouble. But here comes the Moon Queen. Moon Finale going to be used here against that of the Aluna. Aluna going to take the fall, and somehow it seems like Bomb Rusher Paul will also take the fall. Pestilence there going down as well. So that's going to mean a 2-to-1 exchange in favor of Orange Spots yet again. And now a 9k goal lead starting in their favor because of the mid lane completely taken care of. I do believe that the top tower was also... No, it's taken care a little bit earlier, so that's okay. Kraken, Illusion, sorry, is going to be in the mid lane against that the Moon Queen. Illusion cast, can you believe it, guys? Passive gaming at its very best. That said, Moon Queen should be, having completed Whispering Helm, should be looking at extra damage item. I believe that Jominus Bane is going to be an next item as well for the Moon Queen. However, he's going to be very far behind as compared to the Sandreef, already having 2k gold in the bank. That would mean that maybe... Oh, wow, no, he's going to go for Dawnbringer. Yep, he already have completed the Light Brand. So Dawnbringer, I mean, Dawnbringer is a pretty good item on the Sandreef for a wide variety of reasons. The Jominus Bane so because it does help increase the damage, right? However, Dawnbringer does slow the enemy a lot, and if he is on a ganky kind of a route, which is kind of made possible because of the Fate plus Mirage gank from the Sandreef, he will be able to slow opponents a considerable amount of damage. That's why the Searing Light, as you can see here, is also being picked up. So Searing Light, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't offer the Ice Brand first, but Searing Light is going to help him farm a lot faster. So that could be one of the main reasons why he wanted to pick up the Searing Light as compared to the Frostburn. So yep, that's gonna be the name of the game for WTF so far. Just farm up, man. Rip Paltrow is gonna snipe out this team Elbon a little bit, and they are not gonna commit to the kill so far. There's a portal key on the Kraken. Kraken completed the demonic breastplate so far, as well as a portal key on the Pandemonium. So that's gonna be pretty good. Meanwhile, Fate gonna spot out the Pestilence. It's just gonna come on team. Let's just pick up the passive. Passive gonna be in trouble there. Kraken out gonna be used, but there's a lot of members right there, and I'm gonna be really honest here. I'm gonna be preferring that he didn't use the Kraken out just yet. And it seems like they are still gonna go in. The flick's gonna be affected onto the Moon Queen. Moon Queen might be in a lot of trouble there. The Cannonball is physical, so yes, he's dealing on damage. Flurry coming on. Down goes the Moon Queen. Moon Queen is the carry for Team Hellborn, and there is no way they can defend this spot if it is gonna be without the Moon Queen. However, Legion is not gonna pursue matter too much there. Only Kraken with the double damage is gonna deal a lot of chip damage on the defense. I do believe that they are gonna turn tails right now and back off. I thought that they could have at least take out the tier 2 there, but at least it's at low health right now and playing it very safe. They would have actually preferred the Kongor, so that's gonna be good also. Kongor is gonna mean that there is a second life on either of those heroes there. It should actually go out to the Sandreef. I hope that the Sandreef would have more guts and balls going to the next team fight, but if it doesn't happen, it would also be on the Fate, because Fate is playing so well in this game, or maybe even a Panda. Panda would be good as well, as long as it's on someone uh, potent initial ability, it would be pretty good. Yep, it's gonna be on a Sandwave, so that's gonna be good. Sandwave does not have to initiate, but Sandwave can always want to go in. And do note, he's the carry. He's the one dealing a lot of damage in most of this fight. 34 minutes up here. 20 sorry, is to 16. And Choke goal late for Team Legion. Legion doing a pretty good job. Orange Sports definitely well ahead in this game. And they are looking to just forward increase the lead against MRR. MRR very far behind. And don't get me wrong, by MRR, man, they are still waiting for this game here. And waiting for the Moon Queen to carry them. And Moon Queen doesn't have the fire burn just yet. 1k goal in the bank. May be able to get it in just 1.2k more. However, it's going to be a little bit of a tall order for the Moon Queen, because the Moon Queen doesn't have that. There we go. It's going to be a Dawnbringer pickup on the Sandwave already. That means that he's going to be a lot more tanky, as well as the damage from the Lightbrand is going to be a lot of extra damage there. So he's going to be a really painful guy. That's it. 35 minutes going to be up real soon. And I mean, RG Sports, they could end this right now. They could end with a next push, which I'm expecting them to do so. But nope, they are just, it would not be wise to bring this too late to late stage because of the Moon Queen element in this game. Then the Moon Queen can always carry a game. And there's also the hack that already has got a ship stick. So Kodra ship stick completed on the Wretched hack. That's one of the main problem walking to this game so far for RNG spots. But however, there's a lot of shrunken net on them. So the majority of these main heroes already have that. So that's okay. I feel that maybe the secondary support might want to farm up a little bit of the protective route, but I would think that it's going to be a lot more viable if Fate has got a portal key as well. So they might actually be waiting for that, but they are not doing the push just yet. And it vexes me simply for a few reasons. Like I mentioned before, in the late game they will not have as good a standing as now. Oh, they are actually going to spot out the Panda here. Maybe even a Fate. And Fate's gonna land a two-man summer. Here comes the Kraken, a big Kraken ultimate plus Cannonball. That's gonna mop up everyone from Hellborn team, and Hellborn looking to go down. All that's left is gonna be the hack as well as the Pestilence. Now Pestilence is in a lot of trouble. That's gonna be a double tap for Kido. Kido is gonna pursue Madness a lot more, and RNG spots on the roll here. And it seems like the Desert Skirt's gonna spot him out quickly. And a Cannonball, a little bit too late. But Silver there, a good try. It's definitely a good try. Should have gotten the stun off, but they didn't expect Fate to be there, so it's pretty fair. Not Fate, sorry. They didn't expect the Pestilence to be there. So yeah, a good pot away. And they are actually going to be able to just translate this to a good push right now. So the tier 2 is going to go down. And they are also going to do a little bit of chip damage on the tier 3. I do believe that here is the Sandwave. Sandwave is still standing, but they're waiting for something. Yeah, Kraken's deciding to man this one up, and we'll tank it a little bit. But the pot's going to be happening here. And the mid lane, they are trying to kill the hack. Is it going to be possible? The tower ran is going to be used there, and a Tsunami Charge as well. But a quick Coldra Ship Stick is going to be the one that will save the hack, and the hack is going to be fine. Meanwhile, it's going to be Panda. They will take the fall, unfortunately, because of the respawns on Team Hellborn. That's a 23 is to 17, man, and the game just got sped up a lot more. That's a 37 minutes into this game, and MR, having not a single tier 2 standing, they are in a slightly precarious spot right now as compared to RNG spot that has got all the tier 2 still up. Baunai on the Pestilence, that's going to be really nice. Meanwhile, a little bit of quick potting on the center. Center is going to be a lot of trouble there. He might actually be forced to use the Mirage, but no, he is actually going down there. And yes, MR can actually milk on this to translate into a good push. But there is also the buyback element to be nicely considered upon. Definitely Seraph can also buy back, but Seraph is not going to do that because, well, the push could be... There's also a tier 2 standing, so that's why he doesn't need to do so. But Hellborn, man, they are still not pushing, and they could actually have Pestilence nicely manning their one up there. There's no Panda, there's no Seraph, but there is no push as well. That's pretty questionable. The troops come in. Doing this the very old-fashioned manner. They are gonna knock on the defense tower with the Moon Queen. There's multi-strike doing a lot of damage there. And here comes the Fate. The Fate is gonna land a stun onto the hack there, and there goes the Panda missing the stun as well. And down goes the Kraken ultimate. Also is the energy fill. Mirage being used onto WTF. WTF also did buy back, so it's gonna be a dominating streak there onto Kiddo. He did pick up Bomb Rusher Pole. Meanwhile, on the flip side, WTF will pick up the kill onto the MOA. So a little bit of a different streak right now. That's going to be a 3 to nothing there. And, well, you did see Kraken pick up the Kodra Ship Stick. So it's in the Korea. They're going to wait for that before the next team fight. He's gonna have that one. That's gonna be really big against heroes like Hack that doesn't have anything as well. So if he does have the Kodra Shipstick, I mean, rotating to a little bit more to the support role, I do believe that Kodra Shipstick is going to be a lot more of a good item onto the Kraken. He definitely will have a lot more mana after that, about extra 400 mana boost. Total mana, of course, I'm talking about that one. That's going to mean that they are in a good spot right now. 39 minutes up here, 26 is to 18, and Hudson spotting in, Kodra Shifting on the center. Center is getting a little trouble there. Doesn't have the Sprunkanet used just yet. He might actually pot it one out quickly, but a face smash, man, smashing the face of the Pestilence. And it's gonna drop the ball now. RG spots might actually win this one here. There is no buyback on both the Hack as well as Shooter1X, or rather Shooter1X has got a buyback, but he's not gonna expel that one yet. 07T already bought back. Might actually be able to defend this spot. They have forced out the buyback from Team Hellborn, and Hellborn now is not going to be in a good spot as before. But here comes the MOA landing the... Oh my god, his forcing matters too much there. And might be a 3-man stun. Yep, it is going to be a Burning Shadow 2-man stun. It's going to be good enough though. And again, the Cannonball doing a lot of work there, making sure that the Panda does live. And it's going to be a double tap. Complete genocide there. 5-man genocide. Wow. Legion team doing a lot of work right now. Archie spots might be able to knock off this tier 3 there. Tier 3 goes down. Millibrax challenge. MRR might actually lose their first game so far. And that's not the kind of spot you want to be in the finals. First game means so much. I mean, personally, it would be good that I would actually concede right now, just to make sure that it doesn't affect the morale for the rest of this game. Walking the second game like, hey guys, it doesn't matter. Yep, they're gonna opt for that, so they know that they can't win this game right now, and they will do just that. This is just too fat a Kraken, too fat a Sand Wraith, and too fat a Panda, so they don't want to deal with that. And that being said, Fate also has got a Pole Key. So that's it, guys, ladies and gentlemen. That would sum up this game. Orange Sport has got so much extra boost potential. They played it the nice and slow way, and they won it as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this solo cast. This is Babael bringing you a little bit of extra coverage onto these finals here. Game 1 between Orange Sports as well as MRR. Do stay tuned for Game 2. It's going to be out real soon. I would be expecting Orange to win this series entirely clean because of WTF. I'm personally a huge fan of Sui as well as WTF, because I know that Shui's got insane micro and WTF just farms so fast. Yep, that's the way it is. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna be back with Game 2, and Lark is gonna join me for that one, so do stay tuned for that. This is Babael. See you guys real soon. Goodbye.